Ourselves the question, when did we stop believing, or did we stop believing that our God can do anything? What limits have we set on God? Time limits? Situation limits? Have we built boundaries instead of walking on the road of faith? Have we put blocks in our own faith? And have we restricted God by our unbelief? That He's limited according to our space, our time, our ability, our thoughts, our reasoning, or the thoughts and reasoning of others? When have we put the stop sign up? When have we put the walls up? When have we put the barriers up? When have we put the ceilings up? When have we put all those restrictions on God, who created the universe, who created all of us, by the way, who's the Father of all spirits, not just somebody's Father, somebody's creator. And He happens to be our God. He happens to be who we call Lord. And sometimes we restrict Him on what He will be the Lord of. Will He be the Lord of everything or something? Or we will parcel out. You know, in a family there's rooms. We have bedrooms and we have dining rooms if we're fortunate. We have an office and we have a family room and we have a living room and we have a kitchen and we have all these rooms, whatever we might call them. And every room has a purpose. And sometimes, if you have a house like mine, you might have keyed entry to lots of rooms. I do have actual keys that will have to unlock different doors in my house. And right there in the house. And, you know, we don't want to lock God out of our lives. We don't want to make barriers. And I believe that it's more psychological, and it could be spiritual, and it could be relational, and it could be situational, it could be physical, that we have put limits on Him, that sometimes in our lives that He's off limit. You know, we may remove Him from certain segments of our life because He's not included in this, or He's not welcome in that area. We haven't surrendered the keys to it. He's given us the keys to the kingdom, but have we really given Him the ownership and keys to every area and aspect of our lives? Or are those forbidden rooms in our own very house? We're the house of God, are we not? We're the temple of God, the Holy Spirit. And so He wants not only access, but He wants ownership of every portion of our being. Not just something or most of it. We don't want to have a little hidden closet that He doesn't have access to. Perhaps maybe your thought life, and it's not necessarily filled with evil thoughts, but your thoughts may not be good thoughts. Maybe they're unbelieving thoughts, or maybe they're resentment, or maybe they're judgmental, or maybe it's your own confusion, or maybe it's controlling thoughts, or maybe it's selfishness, and perhaps we have little areas of our own heart and lives, and as the temple of God, the Holy Spirit, that we don't want God involved in that because we're hanging on to that, perhaps bitterness or anger or pride or resentment or something that we know God would not be pleased with, but you can come in every other area of our life but this. And I believe that He should have access to the totality, that there should be no walls, there should be no keys that lock Him out. There should be nothing in our lives that is forbidden for Him to control. Because sometimes, even without our admission, there are areas in our life that we have not surrendered unto God. We sing that song sometimes, very seldom, probably all, to Jesus I surrender. We can sing it, we can preach it, we can pray it, we can even believe it, but that's not enough. We need to do it. The surrendering is an act of complete abandonment to self and total access to God, to have His will in every area and aspect of our lives. And sometimes we don't surrender something because even though He's our everything and all, we're not always His everything and all. It ought to be a reciprocal relationship, that if He's our everything and all, why can't we be the same to Him? Why can't we be like Him and surrender and giving Him everything that we are and have? Not just something. Oftentimes people talk about giving God an offering or giving God 10% the time. And I believe that when it comes to your life, that 100% of everything that you have in material goods and financial goods, in your own physical and emotional and mental capacity should be 100%. We don't want to give Him part of our time, part of our mind, and part of our emotions, and part of our body, and part of our service. We're servants 100% of the time. No matter what we do, it should be 100% commitment, 100% submission, 100% committing and commending our hearts and bodies and minds and souls and spirits and lives and everything that pertains unto us to God. Because He's worthy of 100%, that He gave you 100%, and why would we want to give Him less?